بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف الأنبياء والمرسلين سيدنا ونبينا مولانا محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وبعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله. Beloved brothers and sisters, respected ulama, mothers and fathers, our viewers and listeners, alhamdulillah, in our last fiqh lesson before the month of Ramadan, we are concluding our analysis of the fiqh of fasting. And in this evening's session, we are looking at what nullifies the fasting and also some common scenarios that you could face while fasting. So this is a very important section in fiqh because many people operate or they perform their ibadah on a basis of not knowledge but culture or practice. So people don't really learn the fiqh of fasting. They make a mistake and then they text the alim saying, I've done this. Or they tell a friend who says to them, no, you broke your puasa. So it's very important, of course, as a Muslim that we are clear on our laws of ibadah. This is vital. And I find that every year people don't actually revise the laws of the ibadah and then they make the mistake. So it's important, inshallah, those who are listening, to please, of course, share these teachings in your circles. I know, mashallah, many after the fiqh session, they share it on WhatsApp. They tell their family and their friends, you know, these are important rules. So what invalidates your fasting? What nullifies the fasting? So from a fiqh perspective, these are important aspects, rules that we follow. If a fluid or a solid substance reaches the stomach through eating or drinking, that I think we know. Secondly, if a fluid or solid substance reaches the inside of the body by means of the nose or by way of the ear or via the private parts. Now, a common question that often arises just by looking at the second criterion, many youngsters ask me, can we swim in Ramadan? Can we fast? When we are fasting, can we jump into a pool? What do you think? What does the Jama'ah think? Can one swim? So look at the laws of fiqh. This is how a parent should respond. The parent shouldn't say to the child, send Shaykh a WhatsApp. No, the parent should know. Because your children will ask you, can I do this? Or your grandchildren, mashallah. So the rule is, nothing, a fluid or a solid should not reach the inside of the body by means of the nose or by way of the ear or the private parts. So when it comes to swimming, if it is that water, the chances are that water can enter as a result of exerting oneself in swimming, then it won't be permissible, because then your fast can break. And some might have the argument that, well, when I dived into the pool, I had no intention of water going in by my nose. And then they say, Sheikh, but isn't the hadith that we are judged by our intentions? But then there's also the hadith, Inna al-wud bil-khawati, that your actions will be looked at how they concluded. So if the outcome was that water entered, you had intended to dive in. So any such moment should be avoided, inshallah, to be safer. It's not that swimming is haram. Someone asked me, what if I'm getting so hot and I just want to stand still in the pool and my head is above? Okay, it's the same like taking a bath, maybe. If you are not exerting yourself and water doesn't enter, right? That is the concern. Inhalation of smoke or gas that leads to particles going to the stomach. So some ulama have written that excessive inhalation of smoke also invalidates, because there is a transfer of a particle. Hence it is forbidden to, smoke as well. There isn't a solid or a liquid, but there is a gas, there are particles that are being inhaled. And then for men, the ejaculation of semen due to sexual arousal, specifically sexual arousal. Intentional vomiting, and of course if you become murtad, it invalidates your fasting. Now let's say that you have invalidated your fasting intentionally. What is the expiation, the kafara? This is a very important aspect. The kafara is needed if you have broken your fast via eating or drinking without a valid excuse, or if you had sexual relations. And the ruling is as such that for each instance or each day in which you did not fast, you broke it, you need to fast 2 consecutive months. So if in the month of Ramadan a person eats, they've broken a law, they intended to eat, to make up that one day, 2 months consecutively. So if you did that for 3-4 days, that's multiplied it every time by 2 months. And if you don't have the health to fast 60 days, then it goes down to feeding 60 poor people per day. Right? This is for those who unfortunately broke it intentionally. Now we close with some common scenarios that I will just go through inshallah quickly as I conclude. Firstly, if the person is diabetic, obtain clarity from your doctor, and it's dependent on the type of diabetes and the severity of your diabetes. If one is required to take insulin shots, the ulama, I have consensus on the fact that it does not break the fast. Injections generally don't break the fast. Generally don't break the fast. Unless it is a form of nourishment, and that goes to your stomach as well. Either or. If it's a form of nourishment, it would break the fast. If whatever you are injecting yourself with goes to the stomach, it breaks the fast. The ulama also mention, for those who are heavily addicted to nicotine, nicotine patches as a means of giving up smoking is permissible. Right? But it shouldn't be used as a treatment for some nicotine. But if you are giving up smoking and you are excessively addicted, then you can use nicotine patches. But it's not a short-term solution for a smoker. Right? Eye drops are permissible according to some scholars, that eye drops will be permissible. There are some ulama that are a little bit stricter on this, and they say, well, the eye is what they call a natural opening and they don't permit it. But more ulama indicate that you can use eye drops. Right? Ear drops, impermissible, because that is an explicit natural opening of the body. So ear drops. So similarly, we can think of swimming. Some people swim and then the water goes in. And then of course the fast is invalidated. Asthma inhalers invalidate fast. And anesthesia, local anesthesia that's injected for suturing of a wound and so forth, will not break the fast. General anesthesia, when you have to go under, you lose consciousness, will break the fast. It is also recommended that you don't select elective or non-emergency procedures for the month of Ramadan. If it can be delayed to after Ramadan and you have to go under anesthesia, then please do it at that stage. And then lastly, antibiotics, oral medication will break the fast. IV fluids that rehydrate will break the fast. Blood pressure, if someone suffers from blood pressure, they can usually fast, but obtain clarity from your doctor. Blood tests, to have a blood test done will not break the fast. To donate blood while fasting it doesn't break the fast, but it's not recommended because you are weakening your body further. A nasal spray will break the fast. A suppository will break the fast. Vomiting involuntary. Now, very important point. If one is maybe ill and they didn't cause the vomiting, they didn't force the vomiting, it wasn't intentional, it happens involuntarily, then that does not break the fast. Unless what came out goes past the edge of the tongue and goes back down, then the fast is broken. So if you do need to vomit everything out. And then look at your health status, if you can continue to fast. If something went back down, you swallowed it, you felt that motion here, then your fast is broken. And then of course you are put into the category of someone who is sick, right? And then you will just pay back the day afterwards. Bleeding does not break the fast. So if you bleed, doesn't break the fast. Swallowing blood does break the fast. So if you have an emergency dental procedure, in all likelihood your fast is going to be broken because they would be swallowing. So emergency, that the pain is bad. Don't suffer with the pain, rather see to the procedure because you fall into the category of one who is sick. Any questions, beloved brothers? Mm. Very good question. Right, we're about to tramp on some sensitive toes here. Point 3, the Haji has asked, with regards to the inhalation of smoke, does braaiing before Maghrib fall into this category? So it's a good question, and this has been posed to a few muftis already. Some have said it does, especially if you inhale the smoke and you say, this lekker, because there's some form of nourishment you took from it. Others have said, if it's not a closed space and the smoke blows away, it's not in like an enclosed braai area, and it is blowing away and your intention isn't to inhale, then it does not break the fast. So if we had to find an opinion in between these two, we'd say if you are going to braai the men, ensure the smoke blows away, there's ventilation, and you cannot have an intention to inhale to enjoy the smell. So you braai and you try and let that smoke move away. All right? That would be the best way forward. Put a mask on, yeah. Okay, put a mask on, inshallah. COVID days. Yes. So the brushing of teeth isn't a challenge. It is the usage of toothpaste that is a point of difference among scholars. Some have said that the toothbrush and the toothpaste, is the modern day miswak. There are some scholars who have shared that opinion, and hence they say you may use the toothpaste. Others have indicated, and this is the opinion that I support, that most scholars also support, that the toothpaste is without a doubt a taste, a fragrance, and not from the time of the Prophet ﷺ. So there's a difference between the usage of the miswak until zawal for a person who is fasting, right? And the usage of a toothbrush and toothpaste. The usage of a toothbrush on its own, with no toothpaste, and just water and spitting out, with no swallowing, will be fine. But the usage of toothpaste will become a little bit problematic because often there's a taste left over and one swallows that. And so that would have been a liquid that then goes down. And then we're in that category of a liquid that went down, because it's not just your saliva that went down. So I would rather recommend to avoid that, inshallah, with due respect to those who say you can do it. But my view would be to avoid it. Inshallah. Yes, question? I like the question. Yes, the question is, firstly, I like the fact that you said many men cook. That's fascinating in Ramadan, mashallah. I'm sure they are. Many ladies also cook. So I'm not going to put this on a particular gender, but with regards to the role of the cook. So the person who prepares food for others to eat, right? If you're on your own, it's only yourself and you're only preparing for yourself. But if you are preparing food for others to eat, that person is permitted to taste to the extent of ensuring the meal is prepared correctly without any swallowing. So the lady who is preparing, if she wants to taste that she had put salt in and sufficient salt, she can taste without swallowing, but she doesn't need to call her husband to say, what's your opinion on this? Okay? It's the one who has the amana of cooking. So it is permissible to taste, but limited to the person who has the responsibility of preparing the food, inshallah. Okay? Jazakallah khairan. My beloved brothers and sisters, may Allah permit that we reach the month of Ramadan, and may Allah accept our fasting. Wa sallallahu wa sallam ala rabbil alamin. Shukran.